So full disclosure about this one, the band reached out to me, giving me a early access to this album, and I was diving deep into it and really enjoying it. And I completely missed the album's launch date, and I was really hoping to get an album review out before that. But I was just having way too much fun listening to this music to get a review out. The ending of this year has just been album release after album release after album release. So I want to actually take a moment and give this album the due diligence that it deserves. So with that being said, let's finally dive into it.
I need a painkiller.
From Mirror to Road by Press to Enter. So Press to Enter is a new band, a new progressive rock band, kind of getting their origins from Denmark. The band consists of Julie Jules Wingreen on vocals, Lucas on bass. I'm so sorry, Lucas. I don't want to try to pronounce your name and make a fool of myself. And Simon Landlund on guitar. So a three-piece band, and I love a power trio, and these guys feel as though they have like about 5 or 6 members within their band. You know, it feels very similar to like a Rush or a Motorcycle, in that like, how can 3 individuals make all the sounds that I'm hearing on this one? The overall flavor that I'm having within this particular band are some of the more contemporary, like female-led bands similar to Bent Knee and District 97, in that kind of more metal aspect of progressive rock that we've gotten within the last couple of years. And I have been loving this. I love their particular blend and flavor on it, even though I will say that I can't necessarily say that they're trying anything completely groundbreaking or extremely new, but what I love is how they're incorporating a lot of the techniques and flavors of the day into their own unique style. You know, we're getting flavors of that fun rock style that we have from a lot of the kind of more modern rock bands, but infusing it with these genty style quick play guitars, very snappy, very on the nose lyrics and rhythm styles in that sense. It's such an interesting, very accessible way of presenting music that overall is quite inaccessible for a lot of people. So like the ability to take a lot of those musical stylings that is more underground, you know, they've been playing with, experimented with, and then provide it in a very digestible and accessible way, it really goes to show their absolute talent within creating and constructing music. And I felt this right at the beginning with their Paul of the Wall, because it starts off with this very accessible and very fun guitar lick that then leads more into the metal outfit that we would come to expect for the rest of the album. You know, so they've kind of got this bait and switch, you know, this, we're going to present you with something very fun and very light and very airy, and then pull the rug out and have some pretty intense, very interesting metal work throughout it. Same with Sky High Places that have this fantastic like gent drops throughout it. You know, it's very quick pace. It's very like almost Animals as leaders in their playing styles. And again, I have to remind myself that, there's only 3 people playing the music currently that I'm listening to. And we continue this trend with Evolage, the 3rd track, and it's got this bounce to it, this really fun aspect to it. So even showing that, yeah, we can have the technical and creative chops to play some really intense and very heavy stuff, we are still able to take a moment to just have a little bit of fun, you know, have this more funky bounce to it. You know, there's a lot of the slapping of the bass that I love, particularly on this track, that really gets my groove going. Then we come into a 1-2 punch with QCKFX being a 30-second interlude track before we get into Painkillers that features Joey Izzo. And it's kind of like this fun, I don't want to say generic or even run-of-the-mill, but it does feel like a track that I've heard a bit. You know, it's a little bit more mellow in their approach. It still has that teeth, you know, it still has this jagged edge to it that the rest of the tracks have, but I just feel like this one's a little bit more of a little bit more on the safe side, if I'm being honest. And the second half of this album is just as strong as the first half. You know, the Frozen Red Light of the 6th track, it almost starts off with like that kind of aggressive pop music that we would have from like an Avril Lavigne, at least within the vocal styles that I really enjoy. But it's when we get into that midpoint with, again, that genty style of guitar work, that like it's so quick, it's so syncopated, everything is like right on cue. Then we come to probably my favorite track off of the album, which is the Try. And part of the reason why I love this track is it has the cinematic aspect that I feel like a lot of the other tracks didn't quite have. You know, we have a little bit more of the synthesizers on this one. We have a little bit more of like a layering of sounds on it that I really appreciate. And I love how like intense this track can get. You know, it's a lot bigger than a lot of the other tracks. And unlike the other tracks where I feel like they're kind of showing off their skills and being like, hey, look what I can play, this one is much more of a, hey, let's see what kind of sounds we can create and explore within this space. And I really enjoy that aspect of this track. And then Sita, the eighth track, is fine. You know, I think it's, I don't know. At this point, I feel like it's just kind of retreading ground that we've already been here. Like, I love the slap guitar and bass that's on it. You know, I love the build-ups and the payoffs. But really, I feel like it could be cut out and we wouldn't really necessarily miss all that much. It isn't until the ninth track, the closing track of Cry Trigger, that, you know, it's the biggest track on this one at 9 minutes. And this allows the group to really stretch their legs and play within the space. You know, it's a little bit of a conglomeration of all the tracks that we've had before, and I really appreciate how they're able to construct a really good and satisfying build-up and payoff. I love that slow climb that we have near the middle point of this track that leads us into a brilliant and fun guitar solo that then reintroduces the beginning motifs and themes that lead the track home. So yeah, it's kind of like one of those perfect little prog tracks that I really love. So in the end, you know, the debut album from Press to Enter was a really fun treat. It introduces us to the band in a very strong way. I can see a lot of people really loving this album and really diving deep into it and having a lot of fun with this one. I can't wait to see where they go from here. You know, this one didn't necessarily blow me away or knock my socks off completely, but I am very excited to see what they have in store next. You know, they have a lot of fun doing a lot of experimenting within this harsher style of the progressive rock landscape. And I'm really excited to see where they want to go from here. So in the end, I will say From Mirror to Road by Press to Enter is one that I would ultimately download. You know, I recommend this. If you're a fan of a little bit of a harsher, more sharp style of your progressive rock, this is a really good entry to that. If you're looking for something that has like, I don't know, maybe a little bit less of a jagged edge, this might not be necessarily for you, but I had a great time with it and I think you will too. So that's what I've got for From Mirror to Road by Press to Enter. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, please let me know by commenting down below. And that's all I've got for you guys today. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.